Hey, what's up, guys? It's me here with how to cook that, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make the McRib. This is one of our most requested videos because it asks something that people just unstop craving. 1. A smoker, obviously. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a smoking recipe. And secondly, you need a thermometer. A meat thermometer, to be exact. We want to make sure that this baby hits the right temperature so no one gets sick. This is probably an unhealthy obsession with McDonald's, but we love it anyway. Now, don't be shy with the dry rub. Go heavy so that we get that nice bark that I talked about earlier. And as always, if you need any more information, check out the blog in the description below. Now I'd like to put them on the top rack so that they reach closer to the heat source and they cook a little bit faster. But if you don't have a top rack, put them on the bottom rack. It's totally fine. Just put them on, close the door, and let them smoke. Now before we start, there are 2 things that you need to have to be able to make this recipe. Go ahead and plate them up and then dig in. If you did, please leave us a like and a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. We have some amazing videos coming up that you don't want to miss out on. And don't forget to follow us on social media for all of the behind-the-scenes fun stuff. Until next time, happy smoking! Now, if they're not there yet, put them back on the smoker, close the door, and let them finish cooking. Once they are at 195 degrees Fahrenheit, go ahead and put them on a cutting board. Let them rest for about 10 minutes. Now, this allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, which makes for a more tender and juicy rib. So, at the 2-hour mark, we're going to pull them off. You can put some of that mop sauce in the foil with the ribs, or you can just put it on top like I'm doing here. It's totally up to you. We're going to wrap them and then we're going to put them back on. It's basically just ketchup, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, and some spices. Now, I like to bring this to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer so that it thickens up a little bit. Now, while the sauce is simmering, let's take a look at the ribs. As you can see, they're looking good. They're almost done. Before we do that, though, let's take the temperature of the ribs. Now we want to make sure that they hit 165 degrees Fahrenheit for food safety. And as you can see here, they're already there, which is perfect. Now, if they weren't there yet, I would just put them back on the smoker. Close the door and let them continue cooking until they hit 165. Once they do hit 165, go ahead and wrap them in heavy-duty foil. Put them back on the smoker and then close the door. Now the first thing we want to do is get our smoker prepped and ready to go. Now I use a Traeger and I have it set on smoke. They were frozen, so I just threw them in the fridge last night so they could defrost. It's just kosher salt with some cracked black pepper. And then the mop sauce is equal parts water and apple cider vinegar. We're going to be using this later on in the cook. If you have a big order, I recommend doing this. Now, once your ribs are fully defrosted, go ahead and pat them dry with some paper towels. Now, the reason we're doing this is because excess moisture will prevent the bark from forming properly. And we want a nice bark on these babies. If you're not using a Traeger, you should be because they're amazing. But I know some of you out there have other smokers, and that's totally fine. So, for those of you who have other smokers, get it up to 225 degrees Fahrenheit and then add your wood chips. Now for this particular recipe, I'm using apple and hickory. I think that the sweetness of the apple really complements the savory saltiness of the ribs, and it's just a great combo. But if you only have one, would use what you got. Next, while your smoker is getting up to temp, let's take a look at our ribs. Now, I bought these from the store. Now, while the ribs are drying, go ahead and mix up your dry rub and your mop sauce. Now, the dry rub is super simple. All right, now that our ribs are dry, go ahead and generously apply the dry rub on both sides. Now that our smoker is up to temp and our ribs are all seasoned up, we can load them up into the smoker. Now we're going to smoke these ribs for 4 hours total, but we're going to wrap them halfway through. Now we're going to smoke these for another 2 hours wrapped like this. Now, if you want to get fancy, you're all right. Well, the ribs are cooking away and they smell amazing. But now we have to talk about the sauce. The sauce is super simple. Now at this point, I like to take a meat thermometer and make sure that they're at least 195 degrees Fahrenheit. And then after they've rested, go ahead and slice them up and serve them up with some sauce on top. All right, well, the ribs are done and they look amazing. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video.